Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yasharalah's 20-minute breakdown, where I'll attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, as always, we give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kadash, and the Akims and the elders and the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity. All praises. And the elder women teaching the younger women. All praises to you too. And the camps and the solar brothers going out there making videos, edifying the body, pushing out there in social media and all outlets possible, pushing the truth according to scriptures. All praises. Now, what I am going to touch on today is the book of Mark, the 4th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 14th verse, where it says, the sower soweth the word. Very short verse to start with. And then what I'm going to do, after I've read that verse, we're going to jump up and then we're going to read verse 13, Mark chapter 4, verse 13, and we're going to break that down all the way down to at least Mark chapter 4, verse 20. If I've got time, I will squeeze in Mark chapter 4, verse 21. But otherwise, the main point is between 13 and 20. Mark chapter 4, verse 13 to verse 20. That's the main point where I want to go. Because this is Yahushai. Yes, the one you call Jesus Christ. His correct Hebrew name is Yahushai. This is Yahushai teaching this. Now, he's teaching like the multitude of people, that there are a certain group of people that hear this word and they're glad and they endure for a time and so forth. When I get into the lesson, you'll see the point. Because this is a parable he spoke. And I just want to break down this parable so you totally understand what Yahushai is teaching here. Yeah? This is just one of many parables that he did. You know? So with that said, actually, I don't want to talk too much, as I do at times, I admit. But anyway, let's get into this lesson, yeah? So this is, I'm going to take my opening verse at Mark chapter 4 and verse 14. I'm going to read that verse, it's very short. And then we're going to revisit it, but I'm going to go jump up a verse. I'm going to read Mark chapter 4, verse 13, and then we're going to come down and we're going to break it down as we go along. So with that said, I've got my timer in 3, 2, 1. Boom, we're away. Let's go straight there. Mark chapter 4 and verse 14, and it reads, the sower soweth the word. There we go. That's it. Very simple. The sower soweth the word. Now, before we even break down what word is the sower sowing, we're going to jump up a verse to Mark chapter 4, verse 13, and then we're going to break it down as we come along. Now, as we come down. Now, let's go. So, here we go. Mark chapter 4 and verse 13, and it reads, and he said unto them, who's the he that said this? Yahushai. This is Yahushai himself, the Son of the Most High, teaching this to the multitude of people, yeah? So Yahushua is teaching this. So this is what he said. I'm going to take it from the top again. Mark chapter 4, verse 13, and it reads, and he said unto them, know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables? So he's saying, know ye not this parable? Because this is a very simple parable to break down. So he's saying, know ye not this parable? So then, if you don't know this parable, how are you going to know all parables? This one's very simple. Now, why did he speak in parables? Let's go there first. This is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 10. Listen to this. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 10. And it reads, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? So it's even the disciples saying, why are you speaking unto them in parables? But here's what his answer was. Matthew chapter 13 verse 11. He answered and said unto them, red letters, so you know this is Yahushua himself speaking. And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Showing you not everybody is going to receive this word. It's only been given to a certain group of people, yeah? To understand and to able to break down this word and even to keep the laws, you know, as best as you can in itself. Because when Yahushua returns and judges the earth and all those in the earth, what he's looking for now is quality, not quantity. Everybody will not make it. I'm sorry to say, that's according to scriptures. So he's looking for quality, not quantity. That's why only certain people will receive this truth also. Others will not. And it's just the way it is, Sorry to say. Now, with that said, let's jump back to Mark chapter 4. Now we jump to verse 14 where I started. Listen to this. Mark chapter 4 and verse 14, and it reads, "The sower soweth the word." Now let's stop there. Now it says the sower soweth the word. What word is the sower sowing? Right, that's quite easy. We go to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 46. Listen to this. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 46. Now, this is Moses teaching this now. Now, if you notice, Moses gave the law. And now when you go into the New Testament, Yahushua, which is the Son of the Most High, he's given the law. Now you see, now he's a lawgiver. Yahushua is a lawgiver. Moses is a lawgiver. Now, if you now you can check that as well, because you can go to where do you go again? Oh, my mind's gone blank. Genesis 49, and I think it's either verse 10 or 10 or 9. If you go to verse 10 or 9 in Genesis 49, I'll put that on the screen. I can't remember on the top of my head. I'll put that on the screen anyway. You can read that yourself. Yahushua, the lawgiver, yeah? If I've got time, I'll go there and I'll read it and I'll quickly break it down to show you. If I've got time. If not, I'll just put it on the screen. Anyway, here we go. Listen to this. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 46, and it reads, "And he said unto them," remember this is Moses speaking now, "and he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do." See, action word, not just to hear only, but you must be doing it as well. To observe to do all the words of this law. You hear that? So you see, that's the word that's being sown. All the words of this law, all that pertains to what's written in this book. Yahushua is teaching them to hear and to do and to be fruitful. That's what he's doing. Now, with that said, let's go back to Mark chapter 4 and now verse 15. Right, so now he's going to give you a scenario, different groups of people. Now, here we go. Listen to this. Mark chapter 4 and verse 15, and it reads, "And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown." Now, we know the word is the law, statutes, commandments of this Bible. "Where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts." So you see, the word that was sown in their mind, that's what it's saying. Satan cometh immediately and take away the word. And like I said, I can resonate with that also, because there's many times me and my brothers are out there on the street on the Sabbath, and some of my brothers go out during the week also. Now, somebody may stop and you're talking to them and showing them certain things in the Bible which they were not aware of. And what happens? Satan cometh immediately and take them away. They have a friend with them. "Oh, no, don't listen to them. Come, we got to go. We're in a rush." And they drag them away. Yeah? That's what happens. And that's what the Bible is showing you. Where Satan cometh immediately and take away the word that was being sown in their mind. So when it was resonating with them, their friend now dragged them away and got them. And they've totally forgot what they just heard from us. Yeah? And the words that came out of this book. And watch this, yeah? I'm going to read you something. Watch this. Because one thing you notice, anytime you open the Bible and you're reading out, especially out on the street, this word gathers many spirits. It stirs up spirits, and many are gathered. Some good spirits, some bad spirits, yeah? Watch this, yeah? Isaiah, we're going to jump to the book of Isaiah, chapter 36. Isaiah chapter 34, Salaki, verse 16. Listen to this. Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16, and it reads, "Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read." See that? Seek ye out of the Bible and read. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. You don't need no other book with this. This stands on its own. For Yahweh's mouth, for my mouth it has commanded. So he's saying, for which is Yahweh the Most High, his mouth it has commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. So you see, the spirit that comes out when you're speaking the words of Most High gathers people, but there's all type of spirits it gathers. That's what he's showing you, yeah? Now, with that said, let's jump back to Mark chapter 4, and that was 15. Now, that was one group of people showing you. Now, he's going to describe another group of people. Listen to this. Mark chapter 4, verse 16, and it reads, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness. So when they heard the word, they're glad, they receive it with gladness. But listen to this. Verse 17, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterwards, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And that's so true yet again, yeah? So immediately when persecution and affliction arise for the word's sake, persecution, like, let me just give you an example. Now, see one of my t-shirts, one of many, on the bottom of my garment, I've got fringes. That's a commandment to wear fringes. But what happens is people mock you. Oh, what are you doing with that rug on the bottom of your garment? And fringes is a commandment. What it does when you wearing it, if you think of doing something you shouldn't do, you're supposed to look down at the fringes, and it's a reminder to keep the commandments. That's the purpose of the fringes, yeah? Now, watch this now. So remember, Mark chapter 4, verse 17 just said, they endure for a short time, but when affliction or persecution, they're being persecuted maybe by their family. Hey, what are you joining that cult for? Come, man, let's go raving, man. Forget the Sabbath. Let's go raving. And they hustle you and they persecute you. They make you feel like you're doing something totally against nature. And then you fall back in and you go and do it. Now watch this. Romans chapter 8. I'm going to read Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. Listen to this. Romans chapter 8 verse 35, and it reads, who shall separate us from the love of the Messiah? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or the sword? So you see, nothing should drag you away from this truth. This truth will, not maybe, will save your life. If you hold fast and do all according to that is written therein, it will go well with you. The Most High and Yahweh, they have promised, and they're not man. They keep their promises. Now watch this again. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 24. Watch this. Matthew chapter 24. Where are we? And verse 10. Listen to this. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 10. And it reads, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. See, this is red letters. The Messiah is teaching this once again, and which is so true. When you start doing what's right, you are hated and persecuted, because when people hate the truth. It will save your life, but they hate the truth. And what they do, they persecute you and they mock you and they want to fight you because of the truth. Yeah, that's what that's showing you. So with that said, now let's go back to Mark chapter 4, and now we're picking up at verse 17. Now, verse 18, because I've just read verse 17. So now we go to 18. Now this is another group of people the Messiah is now teaching the people. Now listen to this. Mark chapter 4 verse 18, and it reads, and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word. So these are, they hear the word. And verse 19, listen to this. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becomes it becometh unfruitful. Now, that's another group of people that hear the word, and they may have been doing it, but then the riches of this world, like the chase for money, the deceitfulness, the lust thereof, womanizing, and all these other things, that partying, Christmas, Easter, all these things that that you were once enjoying, that now when you come into the truth you stop doing, because according to scriptures, and you want to be right in the Most High's eyes. Now all these things now choke the word, and you go back into the world. Watch this. I'll prove that too. Romans chapter, watch this, I'm going to jump to the book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. Listen to this. Romans chapter 12 and verse 2, and it reads, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. How are we going to be transformed? By the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Now you see that? Now watch this. I'm going to show you something else as well. I'm going to jump to the book of Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 13. So you see, so this is how you cannot be conformed to this world. You've got to renew your mind. How do you renew your mind? Learn the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and do them. Watch this. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 13, and it reads, but he answered and said, this is Yahushua once again teaching this. He answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father has not planted shall be rooted up. Now, remember the verse that I just read in Mark chapter 4 and verse 19. It says that, like, when when deceitful riches and lust and all that comes in, it chokes the word and you become unfruitful, because what you're not doing now is teaching others. So now you're like a plant that bears no fruit. That's what you come like. And what did this verse just say? Every plant which my heavenly Father has not planted shall be rooted up. So you see, if you are not fruitful, if you're not bringing forth fruit to the knowledge that the Most High has given you, you'll be rooted up and cast aside, because you are of no use. You've got all this information, knowledge, and understanding that the Most High has given you, but what you're doing, you're sitting on it, and you are not making it flourish and and bear fruit. We're gonna go into that a bit further when I go down. But that's the point. He's just showing you that all those that the Most High has not ordained, to do this will, to get the understanding of this Bible, they'll be rooted up. So all these Christian pastors that you see are saying, oh, you only got to believe, we live by faith, you only got to believe and you're good. They're all going to be rooted up, because they were not planted by the Heavenly Father. Because the Bible tells you, you must believe, yes, you must have faith, yes, but you have to have works with the faith. You must be doing the works of the law with the faith of the Messiah. They go hand in hand. That's the only way you're going to get salvation. You've got to be doing both. You cannot have one without the other. Just like the body. If the body doesn't have the spirit, the body is dead. The spirit alone without the body is unfruitful. You must have both for it to run, in sync. Now watch this. Now with that said, we jump down now to Mark chapter 4 verse 20. Listen to this. Mark chapter 4 verse 20, and it reads, and this is another group of people now he's describing, and it reads, and these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, and here we go, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Now, these are the ones now that not only heard the word, they've received it, and now they're doing it. So they've learned what they need to learn. And as you're learning and you're, keeping like Psalms 110 verse 11, I'll put that on the screen. When you're doing that also, the Most High increases your understanding and your knowledge. He opens the scriptures to you. So when you start reading, you start understanding exactly what it's saying. And now what you do, when all this knowledge you've have, now you've got to go out and you've got to bear fruit. You've got to bring more people in. So you've now got to go and teach. Yeah? And if you're, it doesn't matter if you're not a great teacher. Speak to people around you. But you know what? If they hear the word that you're giving and they reject it, don't feel away, because they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the Most High and the Messiah. Because remember, you're bringing his words. So if they don't resonate to that and they, Carl, go away, man, with that, they're rejecting him, not you. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah? Out of 100. Even if 3 hear the word and start keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and with the faith of Yahushua, and do what the scriptures say, you've done well. Now watch this, yeah? I'm going to jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 17. I'm going to show you that point where it says, the ones that are sown on good ground, hear the word, receive it, and bring forth much fruit. Listen to this. Ezekiel, chapter 17 and verse 8. Listen to this. Ezekiel chapter 17 and verse 8, and it reads, "It was planted in a good soil by great waters, that it might bring forth branches, and that it might bear fruit, that it might be a goodly vine." So you see that? When you are planted in great soil, so you've known the laws, statutes, commandments, you've stayed in the first 5 books of Moses, you study them laws. The only law we don't do is the law of sacrifice, yeah, because we now turn to Yahushua, we believe on him, we get grace through him, so we're no longer put to death for where we have erred, but we don't stay in it. We keep the law, statutes, commandments, and it says, by, on good soil, by great waters. What's the great waters? This pure doctrine, not the Christian doctrine. This, you go to the scriptures, or go to brothers that know the law and learn from them. And, and that's what we do. And we try to bring forth much fruit. So we are seen as a goodly vine, bringing forth much fruit. That's why we go out there and we teach others to keep the law, statute, commandments with the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, I hope you got something with that. I'm about to run out of time, so I can't go into the next, into 21, which I was going to do. But that was the point. Just wanted to break down Mark, the 4th chapter, from verse 13 down to 20. So I hope you got something with that. This is Yasharallah about to time out. So keep the law, statutes, commandments with the faith of Yahushai, and you shall be saved according to scriptures. With that, we out.